So this guy, these people are so dangerous. I mean, they just openly don't want us to talk about all the urban warfare drills, the threat fusion centers admittedly grabbing all our credit card data in real time, committing crimes. The MIAC Homeland Security reports, 95% of it, Janet Napolitano admits this, is focused on the American people. I mean, this is a bait and switch, folks. And they're taking this country over. They're putting telescreens up in the stores saying, spy on your neighbors. They're taking over our society, and they want us to go along with it. We have got to say no, and people have got to stand up against people like this congressman and the ADL and others that are trying to restrict free speech in this country. It's un-American, and it's dangerous. You know, if Mr. Cohen has got proof something is inaccurate, why doesn't he talk about it? He just makes these big statements. And you know what, pal? You're a public figure. You introduced a bill for the establishment of emergency FEMA camps in this country. And it says, for whatever purposes you wish. And then we've been to those bases where they do drills of arresting Americans. So don't give me that baloney. It is so frustrating to be informed and to know this guy is counting on people not being informed. You know, in the piece, they even say, oh, Cohen probably didn't even read the bill. You know, they get lots of bills from lobbyists. They even try to give the guy a way out. Like, oh, he didn't know what he was doing. Well, what does this look like right here? I mean, is that not tyranny? Saying, oh, if something bad happens, it's going to be your fault. That's what political correctness is. That's why they say, oh, you can't criticize a group. You can't read Bible verses. In Canada, they arrest preachers up there that criticize a group because somebody might hear it and do something violent. Meanwhile, the state is gearing up for war against the people and engage in all sorts of violence against us. Let me blitz through other news now. Hackers strike back to support WikiLeaks founder. WikiLeaks supporters struck back Wednesday at perceived enemies of the site and its jailed founder, Assange, launching hacker attacks against MasterCard, Swedish prosecutors, a Swedish lawyer, and a Swiss group that froze Assange's bank account. The so-called hacktivists, operating under the label Operation Payback, claimed responsibility in a Twitter message for causing technical problems at MasterCard, which pulled the plug on the relationship with WikiLeaks on Tuesday. It's a denial-of-service attack. It looks like they're experiencing heavy traffic, but spokesman James Isaka told the Associated Press the company would not confirm whether WikiLeaks was involved. And it goes on through other things being attacked. The problem is that they've now introduced bills to basically shut down internet freedom in the name of WikiLeaks. It's the internet's 9/11. And, of course, it's an inside job. And Assange has been fed this stuff by high-level people, you know, the right-hand man of George Soros, the Open Society Organization, the CFR former president, Leslie Gelb, and others. Notice the leaks are continuing, and they're saying, okay, bye-bye, Assange. You're the patsy. And then, meanwhile, it just all continues. There's no doubt Assange has been set up. I mean, this, over in Sweden, they call it, what's the exact term? I've got it here in the article. They call it sudden sex, or that it's surprise sex. That's the technical term, where, oh, the woman got excited, but she didn't really mean it, so you go to jail. And they teach in all the colleges, any sex. With your wife, it's rape. Men are inherently evil. That's just to divide women so they can be cornered by the government by themselves. You know, so women don't have families that are strong, so they can deprive you of true humanity. And look at how screwed up society is. That's the goal. They've got to destroy it to then take it over. Assange could face espionage trial in the U.S. You know, now that they've got him for having sex with women who agreed to it, now the U.S. government's talking about espionage charges against him. Yeah, you ordered troops to torture children in Iraq. That's okay. Or banks can steal trillions, but you do this, you're going to get an espionage charge. So they can set the precedent that anybody reports on corruption, you get an espionage charge. See, they want this criminal state's secrets kept secret. Leaks brought out the atomic soldiers. Leaks brought out Project Shad, the government nerve gassing our own troops. Leaks brought out our government injecting children, claiming it's vaccines with polio and other degenerative diseases and killing them, like syphilis. See, they don't want that coming out. They want you to, the government loves us, and big sis is on big telescreens and jumbotrons telling us everything. So continuing, this is very, very dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. And a lot of people are striking back and saying no, and they're calling this the first official info war between the people and the system. The Daily News calls it hero or terrorist. The Assange effect represents a real grassroots internet rebellion. No doubt about that. And the answer is more leaks on every front. Okay, the government operates in secrecy as a pack of crooks. Continuing here, the government's talking about prosecuting the New York Times and others. I want to go over some more of the heavy hitters that are involved in all of this. Assange is also saying in an op-ed he got out before he got arrested that to take down WikiLeaks, you've got to take down the whole internet. I think that may be what the globalists are thinking about doing. Here's the headline: WikiLeaks spokesman, only way to stop whistleblowers is to shut down the web. Well, they've got legislation to make you have IDs when you're online, to charge you with espionage if you basically leak any type of corruption of any government. I mean, it's just criminals trying to protect themselves. It's totally disgusting. They're not trying to protect us, folks. They're trying to protect the fact they're running the terrorist. They've been caught over and over again, shipping the drugs in, running the terrorist. I mean, you've got to understand that we've got a bunch of psychopathic criminals running things, and nobody is safe until we wake up and face that. That means you, a cop on a power trip, who is still gullible enough to believe that we're still in Kansas, or a school teacher that's gullible, or a doctor, or a talk show host, any of you. If you don't know that things are in deep, deep decline and that tyranny's growing, you are brain dead. And there's not time to suck our thumbs and be compliant cowards anymore. If you've noticed, I've turned the heat up and gotten more bold. These people are out of control. Now, Chinese dissidents that are known CIA connected started WikiLeaks in 2006, and this was reported on by Cass Sunstein. The White House regulations are openly calls for infiltrating the internet, running false flags on the web to shut down free speech, and arresting people that criticize the government. That's on record. Cass Sunstein, acolyte of George Soros, minion of George Soros, is on record in the 2007 op-ed piece he wrote introducing WikiLeaks to the world. We've got Morton Halperin of the Pentagon Papers with Daniel Ellsberg. We've got this guy hooked in as the right-hand man of Soros, literally running the Open Society Foundation and funding WikiLeaks. Boom. Then CFR, by the way. Then we've got Leslie Gelb, former president of the CFR, current president emeritus of it, honorary president. And this guy is hooked in with all the same people, and, of course, WikiLeaks, and, of course, George Soros. So you add all that together. They needed to burn somebody. They clearly are involved in cutting Assange loose. And they're going to use these leaks that actually push the globalist agenda on many fronts to now have the other arm, the neocon side, come in and try to restrict free speech and shut down leaks. That is, people reporting on Hitlerian or Stalinistic corruption going on in the country. But regardless, Assange has been set up. You got to get Lee Harvey Oswald, 2010, the patsy, out of jail, because they're going to make it all about the spectacle of his trial for having consensual sex. That's the new thought crime. But they can't keep him long for that, so now they're talking about espionage or financial stuff. They're coming after him. And if they can get him, they can get anybody. You understand that? This is tyranny. Now, continuing, I meant to get into this more, but this is big news. We got to get this out to everybody. This is a key break in the fight against the TSA and the federal takeover of society. TSA agents complain over body scanner radiation exposure and a cover-up of the radiation readings in federal studies. That's also in USA Today. Get this article out to everybody you know in this fight. This is so important. It is so important to get this information out. TSA agents complain over body scanner radiation It's got all the intel there. Get this to TSA workers you know. Go to the airport, hand it out to them, because if they can't get their enforcers to kill themselves, we can get liberty.
You are listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.